Hey everybody, Daniel with BTR Outfitters. So today we're going to do a video over the differences in toolboxes or tool storage. So I've got 4 different styles. What we're going to go over is a chest style toolbox, a over the rail toolbox, a swing out toolbox, and then of course for the flatbed guys, that is a flatbed storage toolbox that goes on top. For right now, we'll start with the chest box. So the box we have here today is a 55-inch wedge cut chest toolbox. The brand is UWS, very popular. They're high quality for a very reasonable price. This particular box is powder coated black, gloss black. You can get it in bright aluminum, powder coated gloss black, or flat or matte black. So I mentioned the wedge. For a lot of the guys that are running half-ton Chevys with the 5/8 bed, the little shorty bed, or even some of the 3/4 ton, 1-ton beds, the wedge has an angle cut right here, because up in the front of your bed where your fuel pocket is on this new truck, it's angle cut. The bed itself tapers inside, so the old school squared off chest boxes don't fit. You either have to do modifications to the box, modifications to the bed. It's just no fun for anybody. So this particular one will fit. For instance, like my truck behind us has that angle cut. We'll try to get a shot of it here in a little bit. So this particular brand and this box has paddle latches. You can open it from one side or the other. It does have a locking system that is keyed, individual keys. Foam weather stripping all the way around the lid for waterproof seal. These boxes mount directly in the floor of your truck. Most of them, on most of the trucks, stick up flush, if not just a hair below the bed caps. So the box is recessed below, so it's kind of invisible. I personally like that. I don't like looking in my rearview mirror and seeing 8 inches of toolbox sticking up. It just blocks your view, blocks all your little blind spots. It adds to them. So I do like that feature. Dual shocks on both sides of the lid for extra support, extra stability. These lids are a double walled lid. So a lot of you will know exactly what I mean when I say this. You can sit on this. The other boxes, like the earlier modeled boxes back in the day, you sat on that, you could always tell where somebody sat on your toolbox because your lid caved in. With these being double walled, it doesn't cave in like that anymore. It gives you that stability on top. I personally have done it and numerous people have done it. Don't know if it's safe or not, but I stand on mine. I would get up, crawl up on top of it if I needed to reach something just a little higher or something like that. It's still, you're capable of doing that with this without causing that indentation. On the back side, there is a wall cutout or a shelf cutout back here. That means you can slide your toolbox all the way against the front of your truck and still be able to open the lid without hitting the bed of your truck. Multiple reasons. 1, your lid will open all the way at that point. 2, this part of the lid does not rub on your truck, so you won't rub this coating off. Kind of a nice feature on that, because my older one didn't have cutouts. It was just flat backed. You get it up there, you either had to space it 6 inches off the front of your truck or rub a big shiny spot down the lid. So they do think ahead on that. The hinge system on this lid, it's not little bitty hinges, guys. You're not looking at just a little bitty door hinge or cabinet hinge. You have a hinge literally from right here to the other end. It's a piano hinge. So this entire lid has 1-piece hinge riveted in about every 8 inches is what I'm gonna say. So that gives you the durability that this lid can open and close a million times and you're not gonna rip it. It's not gonna tear up on you. So that is the UWS 55-inch Wedge in gloss black. I think we will jump over to our CAMLOCKER, which is another brand, starting to become really popular. We'll check out this over the rail. All right, guys, the CAMLOCKER. This is a low profile over the rail CAMLOCKER toolbox. You can get these in gloss black, flat black, or matte black, or shiny chrome. Not chrome, excuse me, polished aluminum. It's not gonna give you a reflection. So one big, huge difference between this style toolbox and the Wedge chest box, this guy sits up on the top of your bed caps. So you're gonna have roughly 8, maybe 10 inches below the toolbox that's gonna be open for bed storage. Slide 2x4s under it, throw a jack under it. Some coolers will go under it, you never know. So that's the biggest difference between this and the chest. This being a low profile, right here on the end, you can see that's about 3 inches. So a standard toolbox will be 6 to 8 inches tall, where this is 3 inches. So this is a little better than a standard, but not as good as a chest for visibility. You put this on your truck and you only have maybe a couple of inches that you're gonna see out your back window. It doesn't really block your view. Although people do know at that point, you do have a toolbox. Just saying. So on this particular box, we don't have paddle latches. We have T-handles. So this box and this brand, they go another step forward to give you more quality. It is a little more pricey, but you pick up a carpet lined inside. Some people could care less. Some people, the smallest noise drives you nuts. I personally am one of those. This toolbox, your tools don't rattle. You don't hear tools sliding back and forth. The carpet helps them stick to where they don't slide, but if they do slide, they don't bang around. You can hear that compared to the hollow sound. So the carpet line's very nice. Carpet line little side trays for sockets, screwdrivers, whatever you want to throw in these little small ones. Interior wise, they send you a drawer or a shelf or a slide, however you want to call it. It's a plastic divider. It slides in, if I do it the right way, and it actually has a ledge that it sits on back here, and it'll slide side to side where you choose to have it. If you want it on the driver's side, push it to the driver's side. So on, so forth. Here again, the lid has a foam seal on it. So you shut it. I'm not gonna say it's dirt proof, guys. There is nothing in this world in West Texas that is dirt proof, but waterproof and dirt resistant. That seal will seal out 90%. For you guys that drive down some of these county roads in the great state of Texas, you're never gonna get rid of the dirt. It's gonna happen. You're just gonna have to accept it or become an engineer and figure out how to build one that is dirt proof. With that being said though, go into these locks. These locks compared to the paddle latches are a lot stouter. It's gonna take more effort to try to break these and get into this box than the paddle latch style. But also with that said, you ever lose a key, you could break into that box way easier than you can break into this one. And just to give you an idea of how durable and how impressive these things are, local law enforcement, sheriff's departments, DPS, game wardens in Texas are running these CAMLOCKERs for multiple reasons. The carpet line, the double wall durability, the locking system, the security features. They love these boxes, and 9 out of 10 of them have started to switch to these. We've installed several for some of them. So just an idea of the quality behind these. Here again, you got a double wall lid, but you also have a reinforcement plate right in the center. They added that plate because they have their struts added to that plate. Does have the dual strut shock system for the lid. Easy one hand close, one hand open. The shocks aren't so overpowering that, guys, it's not bolted down, it's sitting on a plastic table and it doesn't flip the toolbox over. I've opened some of these that could have shattered the back window in your truck if you didn't catch it. The way these are designed to mount, you don't have to worry about that ledge on the back, so the backs are flat. The way that they hook up into the truck on the bed caps, it keeps it spaced away from your window, and it allows you to slide it all the way back to the front of the bed. The hinge is up high enough for the lid, doesn't touch anything. These boxes are also capable of being mounted with headache racks. The simple ladder rack systems, you can put these on with those. You do have to adjust, but they are capable of doing that. Just like the UWS brand, this company has done a full length piano hinge. They go a little further and add several rivets. They want their hinge. If that hinge comes loose, you lost half of the back of your toolbox. Guys, they don't want that to come off. They go above and beyond for that. Here again, the colors, all your preference. They do have keyed locks, individual keys as well. It's not like you're gonna buy a toolbox and there's 18 guys out there with the same key. These keys are very specific. I have yet to run across a double key situation. So, before we get to the big beast, we're gonna jump back over here inside my truck and we're gonna show you a tiny box. This box is for your minimalist or your OCD guy like me that doesn't like a whole bunch of junk in the bed of their truck. You can organize and store your ratchet straps, tow strap, jumper cables, gloves, whatever you choose. But these little cases, this particular one's made by a brand called UnderCover. So this case is what they call their swing out. It's very tucked up to the side, takes up very little room. The nice part is it usually uses a space that you don't use anyways. So like the space over your wheel well, most of the time, there's nothing that fits there. So this little box kind of fits in. This is my personal box, so before I start getting questions about the look and everything and durability, I can tell you right now, this box has been abused. It hasn't had a good life. I mean, I'll be honest. And it's held up. It's been in, this is the second truck it's been in, and that's made it 5 years now. And it still works like a champ, still holds all my junk. I probably have it overweighted if we're being honest. We're not gonna open it though. You don't wanna see everything I got in there. Simple operation, guys. There's a hinge plate that bolts in. This isn't something you have to bring to me to install. You can install this at your house. They give you a little pin. This hole is already pre-drilled in your truck. You put the pin in, your hinge plate lines up straight down, and you pop in these 4 self-tapping screws, and your hinge plate's installed. Then you just hang the toolbox on it. So you can't just rip this toolbox out, guys. They come with a lock. It locks the hinge in place. Now, granted, it's still made of a plastic per se. If somebody wants in something bad enough, they're gonna get in it. The idea behind locks, like my grandfather always told me, it's to keep an honest man honest. So don't expect this to be completely unstealable. Guys, if somebody wants it, they're gonna take it. The nice thing is, most of the time, if people don't know what's in it, they don't care about it. So moving on from that, I'll get off my soapbox here. So you pull this little handle, it unlocks the latch, which I'll show you here in a minute, and the entire tray will swing out to where you don't have to crawl in the bed of your truck. I said I wasn't gonna do it, I'm gonna open it. So, inside, they give you a small tray here. As you can see, my kiddo's gloves for working. The tray is removable, and then you have a storage spot under it. This storage spot, I literally have a small air compressor, jumper cables, 7 16-foot ratchet straps, a bag of bungees, and a spare receiver, a 2-inch receiver tube for trailers. I keep it in the bottom just in case I lose the other one. So it does come with keys. As you can tell, I'm not real worried about people stealing stuff because my keys are in here. So this key right here not only locks the lid, it also locks the lock on the actual hinge. So that's a nice feature. On the inside, guys, this is your locking plate. Here again, they've simplified it beyond means. You hang it up here, you put that notch all the way to the front, and then just let it sit. You pop those 2 screws in the bottom screw and it's installed. There's no fancy tape measures, there's no fancy anything. If you've got a drill with a chuck that will hold these screws, you could put this thing in a matter of minutes. It's so worth it. Now, if you're not gonna utilize it, if you need tool storage, one of the other 2 boxes, by far. For me, I usually have a tonneau cover on here, which I'll do a video on that before too long. My whole bed is tool storage at that point. But I don't want a bunch of small items laying around the bed of my truck. I'm OCD. So this thing will store your small items, keep them organized, keep them in one spot, and keep them out of your way. At any point, I can drop the tailgate and throw a large item in here, and I don't have to worry about moving 100 small ones. So that is the UnderCover swing tray. They make them for driver and passenger side. So if you're gonna go to Amazon and order one, make sure you specify which side you want. And they are vehicle specific. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota. I think, please nobody quote me on this, I think you can even get these for Honda Ridgelines. Not 100% sure, but this company usually covers anything classified as truck. So, all right guys, we've gone over your basic regular factory bed truck boxes. Now, for you flatbedders, you may have a skirted 4 box. You may have a skirted 2 box. You may have a non-skirted no box. You may have a pronghorn. The pronghorn is going to be a little more difficult to utilize this box. There is a particular model, and I will cover that in another pronghorn video. But for right now, we're going to stick to your regular flatbed, flat-topped flatbeds. No stand-up boxes in the front, none of that. So we'll jump over here. So this particular bed is a J&I skirted 4-box hay bed. Yes, hay bed. It's a very popular bed with farmers, ranchers. We're not going to dive into the bed, but so you've got 4 small boxes under the bed platform. As anybody knows, those aren't real big. The Roadboss Toolbox is the cream of the crop, guys. Cotton farmers, and the only reason I use cotton farmers is because I was one at one point. We had one truck completely loaded down with all of our tools that followed us to the jobs, and anytime one of our tractors, combines, anytime something broke, we ran for that truck. Just like I said before, guys, we had probably, no exaggeration, 9 to 10 toolboxes strapped on top of the flatbed to cover all the tools we needed. If we would have had one of these, we wouldn't have needed all that junk. So, outside principles, it's a steel housing, guys, where these other ones are aluminum. The latches, individual locks, recessed doors with weather stripping seals. They make these in 2 different boxes, and no, you can't get different colors, I'm sorry. So black is all you get. But this is the tapered box. The front end is tapered on it, just like it says. It's made for the guys that are going to be running gooseneck trailers. Doesn't matter what kind. It gives you that extra swing in the nose of your trailer if your trailer was to stick past the gooseneck box. It's a little bit safer for your trailer, for your toolbox, and probably for everybody around you if you were to wreck your trailer into your toolbox. So the other version is a cube. It's just they come straight out, straight down, no taper. A little bit more storage space if you don't really haul a bunch of trailers, or you know for a fact that your nose of your trailer is not going to come anywhere near it. That's the box for you guys. So now let's open it up and I'll show you why this is everybody's dream. So on their particular hinge, they don't use a piano hinge. They don't use your conventional hinge. They use a welded steel rod through with polyurethane bushings. So you get a lifetime. Guys, I don't think you could open this door and close this door enough to wear that polyurethane bushing out. Going into the box itself, there is a track system with sealed ball bearing rollers, kind of like your drawer on your kitchen cabinet or drawer on your, some people catch me on this one, a Matco Toolbox has a ball bearing drawer system. That's the same thing. This thing's just much larger. You lift your latch and you start pulling, and out this side, you get a 60% pull. So 60% of this drawer just slid out this side. Now, this is just an open tray drawer. We didn't add any bells and whistles. They actually make toolkits for these guys. They make dividers and organizers. They slip right into these drawers. They'll hold sockets, wrenches, pliers, screwdrivers. They are designed to hold whatever tool you think about throwing in here. Let me correct that. They will hold every hand tool you think about throwing in here. If you don't need that, if you have tool cases, throw them in here. This drawer will hold 500 plus pounds, fully extended. So out this side becomes 60, out the other side you get 40. Most of the time, guys, my experience, when you pull up to work on something, you usually put your passenger side to whatever you're working on. That's why they designed it this way. The 40% on the other side allows you to get to the last piece of the drawer. A lot of people I know that are running these usually will put jumper cables, the little odds and ends stuff in the 40% side, and they put all their tools on this side. Once it's bolted in, guys, this makes for a heck of a workbench too. So you could double it for whatever you need it for. I know some guys that have thrown shovels in these. They go side to side on a single wheel flatbed. They do fit on a short bed as well. You do get very tight on your gooseneck box on a short bed, just giving you a heads up. To give you an idea, this box weighs, I would say 300 to 400 pounds because of its ball bearing system, its steel construction. They didn't skimp on the metal, guys. They used a thick gauge steel. With that being said though, it's in front of the axle, so it doesn't really hurt your towing capacity. It just gives you that extra storage that most people yearn for with a regular flatbed. All right, so we've pretty much gone over everything. The one thing I'm gonna mention that I don't have at this current moment, but I'm working on, and as soon as I get it, we will do a good video on it, is called the deck toolbox system, or the deck storage system, or the deck drawer system, however you wanna call it, guys. It goes in your bed. It goes roughly about 3 to 4 inches above the wheel well, but it completely decks in your entire bed. And then you have 2 huge storage drawers that slide out from under it. They come all the way out past the tailgate, full length, so you can get to whatever's in there. They make accessories for them, divider kits that go inside the drawers. They also make an awesome accessory. It's called a bed slide. It bolts to the top of it, and then you have an entire tray on top that will slide out, and it will hold over 1,000 pounds. We'll go nuts when I get this thing and get it built and installed. I will do a video over just it alone. But for right now, you know about the chest, the over-the-rail low pro, the massive Roadboss, and of course the little baby swing out tray. For right now, guys, subscribe, like the video, jump down in the comments if you want to see me do a video over something, anything with truck accessories. Throw it out there. I'm all about getting suggestions. I kind of just wing this, to be honest. Check out all that, and we'll have a video for you before too long.